Y'all, welcome back to the Ben Barker Fitness Podcast. If you would subscribe to the show, leave a 5-star review, and share this with someone you think it might be an encouragement to. Today, I have the founders of Caffeine and Kilos, Dean and Danny. What's up, guys?
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
How are you?
I'm excited to be here. And this is a full circle moment. I think when anybody starts seeing a little bit of success on social media, when you get to work with a brand you've always liked, it's kind of surreal and exciting. I think when you start in like CrossFit or weightlifting, Caffeine and Kilos is a big deal. So for me, this is pretty cool.
Well, we appreciate the kind words, and yeah, we're super stoked to chat with you today.
Well, I am pumped. Dean, I know Danny real well. I've had Danny on the podcast before. Dean, would you give me just a little background on who you are and your role at Caffeine and Kilos?
Yeah. Kind of my day-to-day, I would say tasks here at Caffeine and Kilos is kind of social media stuff, marketing, physical marketing, and also marketing strategy. We kind of hold a lot of hats here. We wear a lot of hats here, but I would say my main input is design, visuals. The word gets thrown around a lot, but I guess creative director style role, but also that's not all I do, so it's kind of hard to really put a name on it, but
say brand image.
Yeah, brand image, whatever fancy
kind of encapsulates it.
Yeah, silly names out there for doing everything we need to do as a team.
Cool. And Danny, you've obviously been on before, but just kind of refresh everybody's memory on who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I used to be a PE teacher, and then somewhere along the way, I joined a force with a couple guys and opened a gym. Rolling through that, competing in Olympic weightlifting out of California Strength for 5 or 6 years, and then teamed up with Dean and one other guy to start Caffeine and Kilos. And it was really, we just wanted to host an event and get the best weightlifters in the country out and pay them a cash prize and all that. And then, we made a shirt for the event and some coffee for it. So we're going to call it the Caffeine and Kilos Invitational. And people loved the shirt. Dean had up the design on that and everything. And they wanted the coffee. And so he said, well, I guess we should start an online store and sell this stuff before the meet even happened. Yeah. And then it just took off out the gates. And so I think I taught for one more year after that before stopping teaching, because it was just time to go all, full blaze ahead. Right.
Yeah. I was working a regular job at the time. And then the idea of the caffeine, I was competing in CrossFit. I was kind of in this transitional period of turning into a weightlifter through CrossFit around this time, 2013-ish time. It's actually, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I was kind of pretty into CrossFit still. But anyways, and then we, came up with the idea, and I kind of just quit my job. And luckily, I had supporting parents at home that allowed me to move back into my dad. My dad actually let me move back into his house, and we told him we got this thing. And my dad has always been very supportive, always was very supportive. And he saw that what we were doing wasn't just an idea or
you're taking action on it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a pipe dream. We were bringing in money, not necessarily in a position to start paying salaries and stuff, all that right away. But there was definitely a, forward track of okay, this is going to be something where it'll be a job, or, and it was worth a shot. And I think I went without a single paycheck for 9-10 months.
Yeah, I'll say, I think we went about a year.
Yeah. So that was near the end there was a little scary. It's okay, this is hey, this is either going to we have to start doing this, or I got to go back to work. Money kind of ran out. My savings kind of was running out. So, but yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a background on how I kind of got involved in that. So
hindsight 2020, looking back at the level y'all are at now, is it at any point were you surprised, this is going well? Or did you always have the vision and the foresight to know where it was going to go?
I don't think anybody really knows.
Yeah, that's what
you know what I mean. You just you know it's possible because you see other people doing it. Yeah. So there's always that. There was never this is an impossible task type of feeling, right? It's more just if they can do it, we can figure it out.
And then you get a little bit of traction, right? You know, some sales are coming through, and then the next day, oh look at that, more people bought stuff. And then the next day, it's like, oh, people are still into this, still liking it, still buying, you know. And then you kind of get a little confidence, right? It's the small wins, like even the small wins, you just get a little bit of confidence from them, a little bit more, and they kind of start snowballing into bigger wins and bigger things. And then I remember, obviously the sales online and stuff, but then I remember we went to the CrossFit Games. We did a booth at the CrossFit Games, and we didn't know what to expect, right? Like it was our first time there. But we invested quite a bit. Like we spent a lot on like a nice build out for our booth. It was just a 10 by 10, but we used a staging company that set up trusses and everything. That was the same company that did it for the main event. And so you go there, it looked like we were a bigger sponsor than we were because the same staging company.
And at this point in time at the CrossFit Games, like that was not a thing. It was like
everyone else was just doing like canopy pop,
literally canopy stuff. It was like you kind of go nowadays, and there's a lot of very intricate build outs with brands and booths, and it's kind of became the norm. But at this time, it made you stand out drastically.
And so we went there and set that up, and okay, we'll see how this goes, right? And also different style. Everyone else, there's like we didn't have a table in front. It was almost like a store, right? Like we had like wood flooring in there, so you kind of walk in and
it was elevated, it was raised.
Right, walk in and explore the booth, right? Instead of just kind of like standing behind a table looking at stuff. And so then, okay, we'll see how this goes. And then we were just absolutely slammed, right? And then, that was kind of a sign. It's like all these people coming up and just buying stuff. And I remember
selling out way too early.
Yeah, selling out of stuff. And I remember thinking like, oh man, I think this I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
Right? Like this, like when we looked, imagine the following year where we were just at the CrossFit Games again. I don't remember if it was the first year or the second year, but looking back afterwards, it's like, oh, so we averaged something like one sale every 2 minutes for the entire weekend when we were open. Right. Yeah. It was like something like, so obviously there's times we had like 4 people checking out people all at once and like everyone's busy. And then, you have some down times where it's okay. And maybe there's, 15 or 20 minutes between orders. But I remember there was just looking back being like, wait, we did how many orders in that weekend? Okay. Like at that time it was like 4 days. Okay. 8 hours a day. I'll do the math on this. I was like, this is unreal.
Yeah. We would do, like a really good month of sales in like a couple days, at the CrossFit Games. At one point, it was wild.
But seen it in person, right? Because online it's great, but it's numbers on a screen, right? But then to get out and actually see, meet these people and see how excited they were for the brand, and they're so excited for the stuff and just the whole, and it's like how busy it was. I remember there's a moment there. We're like, oh, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah, the reach wasn't really known until we showed up in person. It's like, oh wow, like these people know. And then the crowds attract crowds, right? Like, wait, what's going on over here?
Too cool. So Dean and Danny, both fathers, we're talking before the podcast. The real reason we're here today, 1, Caffeine and Kilos is super cool. 2, I made this post a few months ago talking about these 10 physical feats that I thought dads should be able to do if they want to be considered like the neighborhood alpha dad. And it was kind of, tongue in cheek, just playing around. And it kind of blew up, got a lot of comments going on in the comment section about, this isn't realistic. And I thought it was pretty funny. Danny jumped into the comments because somebody said something like, only like an elite athlete could do this. And Danny hopped into the comments and was like, I can do all 10. So Danny, talk a little bit about, so we have this Alpha Dad Challenge that we're running with Caffeine and Kilos, and we chose 5 of the exercises because we felt they were the easiest to kind of track realistically and people couldn't be cheating and stuff like that, easy to film. Why did you get involved?
Well, I just think it's fun, first of all, and I like, people like to be a part of something, right? And I'm people, like I like to be a part of something.
Yeah, exactly.
So yep. I saw you post that list, and I remember the main strength exercises were, it was strict press your body weight, bench press 1.5, squat 2, deadlift 2.5, and then run a 5K. And I remember seeing those. And you said just reasonable time, right? Not even necessarily a total standard on it. What's reasonable? I don't know. What do you say? 25 minutes or less, right? Maybe would be considered like a reasonable time. And so anyway, or 26, somewhere around there. Anyway, so I remember seeing those. I'm like, oh, it stood out to me because I remember seeing a poster. And this was, I think, in like 2009, right? Seeing this poster about strength stuff. And it just said kind of like strength goals or good strength numbers that are achievable type thing, right? Like the average person, if you work towards these, you can hit these. And if you hit these, then you're generally considered a strong person. And I remember that stood out to me. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense, And they were that exactly. It said if you can strict press your body weight, bench 1.5, squat 2, and deadlift 2.5, then you're good to go. Considered a strong person. And I remember like thinking about that because I'm like, oh yeah. So once you kind of brush up on those numbers, even if you don't hit them, if you're close to them, then in your training, getting stronger maybe doesn't need to be your primary focus, right? Like maybe at that point, it's like, it's never bad to be stronger, but you can kind of shift to other areas of weakness or whatever you want to do with that. So anyways, I've had those numbers in my mind for over a decade, right? Like 15 years I've been thinking about these numbers. So I saw you post them. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like Ben knows what's up. I couldn't agree more. And then I see all these people are like, oh, it's just unrealistic. And oh, this whole thing, only elite athletes and all this business. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I can get pretty close to every one of them tomorrow. Right. Like I may not hit them all tomorrow, but like I can get within spitting distance. I bet I can get at least over 85 or 90% of the ones I don't get, I'll get, close to them type thing. And I just remember thinking, man, all these people just have no idea what they're capable of. Like these guys, man, like you gotta understand, dude, like actually you are 100% capable of doing these things if you just train for them for a little bit. It's not even like a lifetime thing. You just need to do these exercises. You can get close. Like I can in my gym, right? I bet you, just off the top of my head, I could probably name 10 different guys who would accumulate 90% of this total. Like if you added up all those numbers and they just like maxed them all out, they'd be over 90% of that, So it's like, I personally know. And these are regular guys, they don't even,
they got jobs, they got
jobs, they got kids. And that's the thing, right? Like I own a business. I've got 2 kids. There's a lot going on in my life. And it's like, well, if I can hit these things, I think most people can. I haven't ran a 5K in a really long time, but I've done 20 and 30 minute workouts. It's like, I'm not worried about it. I know that I can turn in a 24, 25 minute 5K or faster even. Right. So anyway, yeah, I think this is I think it's a fun challenge. And you know what else? It's not even about like to participate in the challenge. You don't have to get these numbers. It's just anything, right? Like it's a measure, it's a yardstick, right? So it's like, I think it'd be fun to see like how close you can get. Or for me, like how close I can get. Like, honestly, I'm stoked to Father's Day weekend to attack these things, man, and just kind of see where I'm at, I hit the squat number a few weeks ago, so I know that's there. I haven't benched in a really long time, but I think I'll get somewhere close. Anyway, I'm excited to do it myself. And I think for a lot of people, yeah, just kind of see where are you on this, right? Like maybe you're not there, but maybe you're closer than you think. Maybe you do this and you're like, oh man, I only missed it by 20 pounds. Right. It's like, that's good to know.
Yeah. It's a good baseline too, right? It's say you don't hit them all. Now you got something to work from.
Yeah.
And okay, I was close this year. Maybe next time, or, even on your own time, you run it back in a couple months on your own free time. Like, might light a fire underneath you, to go get it done.
And I think people overlook, like you can get to these numbers from 2 directions, right? Yeah. Like maybe if you're a little over, maybe you just need to lose, another 10 or 20 pounds of body fat. Yep. and meet in the middle, like find these numbers somewhere along the way. Right. Like if I'm going to hit that strict press one, I need to be about 8 pounds lighter. So, you know what I mean? But that's going to be right there.
Dean, with your CrossFit and like weightlifting background, do you look at that list and you feel pretty comfortable with that list?
For sure. My training recently has been strictly running, but with even with doing this program, I would feel still pretty confident with just because I still do CrossFit and bodybuilding a couple times a week. So, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And you've been doing more running at 5Ks.
You give me those numbers.
Plus your body weight's down a little bit too.
Yeah,
like you're actually
for sure
probably closer than you think.
You give me those numbers when I was training for weightlifting, I'd just blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But training and interests have shifted a little bit on my day to day, like as far as how my training looks. So it would be a little tougher right now, but it's going to be a good challenge.
Yeah. I think it's fun, man. I'm excited about it.
I am too. And I would say this too. It's like anything else. Like I think, y'all look at Caffeine and Kilos or your marriage or fatherhood. I don't think we talk about the standards. I don't think you look at Caffeine and Kilos and y'all are like, you know what? I would like to be average this year. Let's set some low goals and let's just do okay. And it's the same
Right.
thing with marriage. Like I don't desire an average marriage, and I don't desire to be an average father. And I think it's fun when you start thinking about like how you do anything is how you do everything. And when you just take that mentality and like you're going to attack business, you're going to attack marriage, you're going to put a high level of effort into your fitness. And I think it's kind of a beautiful thing when you start just going about life that way. And so with those standards, just like Danny said, anybody who's listening, it's like if you don't, this strict press is honestly the hardest thing on that list of all of the exercises. A bodyweight strict press for the average guy is a pretty tough feat to accomplish. But if I go like 75% of your body weight, a lot of people are going to hit that. And so I think it's better to set the standard a little bit higher and have to strive for something rather than setting a low standard and everyone hitting it and be like, yeah, I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
No, yeah. Yeah. Body weight strict press is definitely got to be the hardest thing on there.
Yeah, and having something to strive for is great. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's like you said, if it's like, oh, strict press 75% of your body weight, it's like, okay, and then like, but then if everybody does it, or if it's easy, like you don't feel accomplished, right? It's like accomplishing something easy doesn't really do anything for you. Like you don't feel great about that, right? It's when you accomplish something hard that you feel good. That's where you get that real like, that confidence and that.
Yeah, this isn't a participation trophy, standard of strength, right? This is like something that's like not just going to be able to walk out in the garage and do. Something you got to earn and something you got to put in some time to do.
Yeah.
And it's okay to, if you don't hit them all, but it's going to be good to measure the forward progress from there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys, I feel like anybody in the realm of caffeine and kilos or CrossFit, weightlifting, hopefully my followers, it's like if there's a standard and I don't hit it, I'm not necessarily disappointed or distraught. It puts a fire in my belly to be like, what am I going to do in order to hit this?
That's it. Yeah, it's a point of delineation, right? You're like, okay, here we go. This is where I am, and that's it. It's a data point. And now I know if this is a data point, and if these numbers are feasible, if these are something that an average, like a strong person could do, well, then you can get there. And the thing is too, like it's not like we're 22-year-old new dads either, right? Like I turned 40 this year, and it's like I these numbers are still there, right? They're right within reach. And so I think that's the thing. Even if you're not, right? Like say someone's listening to this and you're interested, it'd be kind of fun to be a part of the Alpha Dad Challenge, but like, well, there's no way. Like I've never hit any of these numbers, or I've done one, but I haven't done, never gotten near the other ones. It's like, yeah, man, like take that weekend and like, here's the deal. What are you afraid of? Like banging some weights, like going big that weekend, like turn the music up, plan on yelling, you know what I mean? Like, let's get this thing going. Like, it's a good time to just put something on the bar and like see what you got, right?
Yeah, not everybody
just max it out.
Yeah, not everybody doing the, for example, CrossFit Open is going to do it because they're going to the games. I think they're going to go to the games. It's
right.
It's just it's a fun thing to do. It's good to get a baseline of where your strength's at and then go from there.
Dude, I love that example too, because honestly, this is something that I think we didn't even talk about this, but I'm gonna commit you to it, Ben. Is we're gonna be doing this every year. You know what I mean? This is Father's Day weekend, the Alpha Dad Challenge weekend, and so you get out there. And so the goal of this year is to find a baseline, and then then we can look forward to next year. And okay, now let's see where you're at. Like, here's the deal: are you getting stronger in comparison to your body weight, or are you getting weaker in comparison to your body weight? And I think I want to know that about myself, right? Like I want to know where I'm at, and year after year, it's okay. I'm another year older, but look at this. I'm still getting stronger, in relation to my body weight. Mm-hmm. And, you can maintain that for a long time. I remember in college learning about strength gains and as athletes age, and you can continue gaining strength into your 50s, right? And so it's not until and then maintain, through into your mid 60s. It's not until you get to your early to mid 60s to where you start having any sort of decline in your strength, right? So, it's perfect goal for a dad is to get out there and get after these weights, man. And then you do the runs so that you feel good about yourself.
Right. There's a couple plays on that because I saw Josh Bridges made a post recently, like within the last few days, and it was something about people saying, how big of a step you lose in your 40s. And he was like, who made this rule?
Yeah, that's
like who made this rule? And basically just stating the fact that he hasn't lost a step. He doesn't plan on losing this step. And like, if you never stop training. So I think what a lot of men get in the habit of doing, especially if you're not in like a gym that has a community type feel, You just kind of go in there, you throw around weights, and you don't really have anything to base progress on. When you get around another group of men who are lifting, even if it's online, and you're seeing guys who are lifting weights that are the same build as you, and they've just been practicing and have been using progressive overload. I think a lot of guys would be surprised, Danny, like just what you said, do it this year, set a baseline, and like I double dog dare you to follow a strength program for a year and see what happens when you do it consistently.
Oh, yeah, the consistency is always the answer, right? It's just like showing up every day or whenever is allotted your time and just showing up at that time and getting it done, getting something done. Like, even like Dave Spitz says, like do something every day, don't, whether that's, 20 squats in your garage because you're been slammed all day, like just do something.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like I said, getting to it from both sides, right? Like maybe someone takes on this challenge and they're a little bit further from it. Maybe they weigh, 220 pounds and they go in there and it's like, well, they can't, and they squatted, 380 and they're going, well, I don't know if I'm going to make 60 pounds of progress in the next year. It's like, yeah, but what you could do is you could make 30 pounds of progress the next year. And if you look at it like that, that's going to put you at 410. Well, maybe probably would be good for you to get your body weight down to 205 also from that 220. Right. And then, maybe, okay, so here's my goal is, next year is that I'm going to gain some strength here. And also over the course of the year, I'm going to lose some body fat and just kind of might motivate you just to get it going. Right. To go from, and you might be in pretty good shape. You might be pretty strong, all that, but there's some meat on the bone. You might be getting soft, right? You might be getting comfortable, and maybe this is the motivation to kind of, get it in gear, get it going, like let's lose that extra 10 pounds, let's put, I only need to put 10 pounds on my squat if I lose 10, you know what I mean? And like, that's the whole thing. And I like over the course of a year, it's like, what do you got to lose? You know what I mean? What are you afraid of? Afraid of being ripped at the beach? You afraid that there's going to be these other moms you're going to have to be fighting off the stick? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Plus, look, here, I'm going to tell you something else right now about this whole dads being fit thing. I remember my kids were little and we get them in swim lessons, right? Like really important because kids swim lessons when they're young. And it's okay. You got to be in the pool with them. It's mom and tots, right? It's pops and tots, And
I always did the swimming.
And there's this, exactly. And there's this other dad in there with a shirt on. I'm like, not
all the dads were except for me.
I'm like, let's pop that top. Come on. Yeah, me too. I'm going tarps off in that pool. You kidding me? I'm trying to show these moms and tots what's going on.
Yeah, no.
You're
not going to catch me in a swim shirt.
No. I got more self-respect than that. And I respect I'm looking at these poor kids. He's holding this kid.
And also my son isn't wearing a swim shirt either.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And I'm looking at this dad and he's holding this little girl. And I'm like, she doesn't respect you with that shirt on. Blue shirt in the pool guy. Let's go, man. Get that thing off, right? Like have some confidence. And it's not about being in the best shape in the world. It's about being confident, right? And being comfortable. And the best way to be confident in yourself is to work hard. And prove to yourself that you're doing something, right? So it's like, even if you don't hit these strength numbers, what percentage of them did you get? Right? Like what percentage of that total did you get? Right? And like just working towards that is going to give you the confidence. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to take off that shirt during pops and tots swim lessons.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's back to that, not to go too far back, but back to that thing about this, pardon my language, BS kind of, mindset of like your 40s or you're going downhill. It's like,
whatever.
That is like the craziest thing that's even like a standard thought. And that's infuriates me, but it's like, also like, it's just the echo chamber that some people are subscribed to, right? Or like what they see, or because that's what they want to see because they are sliding off themselves personally.
What's your excuse?
I open up my Instagram. I got guys like Danny, I got guys like Ben, I got guys like my buddy Kenny, who's like fittest at 40. Like it's like this complete opposite mindset. All the people that I look up to and I follow around are all older than me. I'm gonna be 36 this year, but like all the men that I follow and look up to in my life or in my feeds of like, of exposure is men over the age of 40 or close to 40 doing better, being better than they were even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Totally. Like they're in better shape than when they thought they were in shape. They're like, it's just, you just got to stop listening to crap like that.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to avoid crap like that, but it's just like, man, like that kind of mindset. It's like, dude, you've already lost. You got to get out of that mindset. That is not even a real thought. That's not even a real thing. It's just something you've made up. Yeah. It's not true.
Well, just like that dumb same thing. Like in my life, all my friends are in.
That's what I'm saying.
They're all in great shape, dude. It's funny.
Yeah.
Like there's this winery, California. So there's all these little wineries everywhere. We're out there and they contact, hey, we got to do a photo shoot for the website. You know, you guys are members here, been members for a long time. Can you guys come to the release party early? We'll do a little photo shoot and like, you know, whatever. We'll give you some case of wine for it or whatever. Like, sure. Like bring some of your friends too. I said, oh, any in particular? They go, nah, man, everybody you bring here looks good. Just bring anyone, right? And I was like, all right. Like I just kind of like laughed a little bit, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we'd been members there for like 10 years, right? I was thinking, I'm like, all right, who have we brought there? And I was thinking there was like 6 different couples we took out there. And I'm like, yeah, and everyone, they all go to my gym, right? It's like, but like they're all in pretty good shape. And like that gets you so far down the path of being, you know, whatever, attractive, or like, you know, looking healthy, you know, and being healthy and being fit. And so it was funny. They're like, no, dude, all your friends look good. Just bring anyone. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. Because that's just the world you're in, right?
Yeah,
The
you
people
surround
you're
yourself
around.
with other people that are
And
motivated to be better.
Yeah. And everyone's in their mid 30s to mid 40s and has kids and have full-time jobs.
Hey,
like
we've all figured it out. Like, what's your, like this whole like, oh, I have kids, I don't have the time. It's like, no, you do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you know, and then on my street, my next door neighbor is, he's my partner in the gym, whatever. But it's funny, same thing, dude. If I come home, if he's mowing the front lawn, he's got a shirt on, dude, I'm not having that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even out of the car yet, dude. I got the window down. I'm barking at him already. Like, bud, let's pop that top. Like, you're not letting anybody know. There's all these neighbors here. You know, they're trying to look up to you. We got to show them what time it is. You know, we are holding down. And you know what? I'm not kidding. The guy across the street now, when they first moved in, he didn't really work out a ton, but, you know, their kids are active. You could tell they like working out, but just kind of slipping a little bit lately. Dude, now like 3 days a week, that guy's out doing kettlebell carries, you know, and guess who's mowing the lawn with their shirt off now? Brian across the street. You know what I mean?
Let's go, Brian.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You got to do it for Brian.
Yeah, straight up. And then 2 houses over, this guy, Tim, he's out there working on motorcycles. The other day I go by and he's got his shirt off out there edging. He goes, I'm just trying to be like you and Bud. I'm like, that's right, man. Let's get that thing off. Let's go. Right.
It's a
like,
mindset.
That's what I'm saying.
Shirts off mindset.
Yeah. And they see it. They're like, oh, look, these guys are, you know, they not 40 years old. And then out there, you know, I've got my shirt off doing yard work. Oh, this guy looks pretty good. He's getting older. Like, I can too. And so these guys are working out now and they didn't used to. And you can see the confidence, right? Now they're going out front without their shirt on. They're mowing the lawn. They're carrying kettlebells out front, you know. And that only happens if you believe it's possible, right? And that can start with you, man. You can change your whole neighborhood, right? You can get the whole street fit. You just got to get out there, pop that top, and see if you can back squat and double your body weight.
It's the environment.
I'm getting fired up,
and
man.
I love what y'all are talking about because it's the same thing. And I think dads, for you, you know, maybe you don't have that environment right now, but you create that culture and that environment for your family. Like, because when my kids are adults, like working out, I hope is not going to be seen as a chore. It's just something that dad always did.
Yeah.
And I think you have the ability to create that culture. And I think you attract that type of energy to your life as well. And you start connecting with people who are striving for excellence as well. And just as far as like culture and environment, even just on our call the other day, Danny. So Danny and I hop on a call to talk about how we're going to promote this event. And I find out that Caffeine and Kilos is as much of a promotional company as it is a coffee and an apparel company. Y'all are excellent promoters. And Danny just starts laying it out here. And I'm just like, oh, I am not good at promotion. Like I'm currently talking to a promoter, and you just see the work and the effort that goes in. And when you expose yourself to stuff like that, that's when you are able to take it up another level. And I think it goes like that with everyone. You hang out with couples who have good marriages, I think your marriage will improve. And if you hang around other fathers who are like pursuing excellence and, you know, faith, family, and fitness, you know, you will start to want that as well.
Oh, dude, 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's the opposite of the contrarian mindset we were talking about earlier. We go the full opposite direction. No, I want to be around more people that are thinking this way, you know,
right,
the successful way. You know, I'm ignoring that other stuff down there. It's like, who can I find that's like me? You know, that is down to get down.
No, that's totally it, right? Yeah, and who you spend your time with. Like,
yeah, who you spend your time with. You probably become a product of, you know, your surroundings, right? You surround yourself with a bunch of lazy people that aren't motivated. Like, odds are that's probably going to happen to you. You know, it's just kind of just surrounding yourself and talking to people. And, you might just have a conversation with somebody one day that can change everything for you, in a positive way.
And to have a full Gary V moment, like literally, if you have a cell phone and access to the internet, like you have zero excuses because there's so many cool communities you can join online, and everybody complains about like social media. And if you use it wrong, obviously it can be a horrible place, but it is an excellent tool. So I would encourage men on here, like go unfollow like crap accounts that are not like encouraging you to be a stronger, fitter, better person, better husband, and follow the accounts of men who are striving for excellence. And I guarantee just input equals output, and you will start to put out better stuff.
For sure.
And a little tip on that too. If you go to the Explore page and you see a post that you don't want to see, right? Like that's what I'm trying to get away from. You just long press on that thing. You can say suggest less. Boop. And you just gotta do that to like 2 or 3 posts and they just disappear. They just don't show in your Explore feed anymore. They don't show on your page. So you can kind of help shape the algorithm a little bit to help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Because they don't want you to delete the app.
That's it.
I actually didn't know that, and that's incredible. Danny, I have a couple closing questions I want to ask each of you. But for a dad who's interested and wants to join the Caffeine and Kilos Alpha Dad Challenge, where do they go? How do they do that?
Just go to alphadadchallenge.com. And so if you go to alphadadchallenge.com, it takes you a page. It talks all about the challenge. And as part of it too, there's this pretty sweet shirt. And so when the challenge is over, after you submit, as soon as you submit your scores,
completion.
That's right. And it's not, don't get it messed up. Now that doesn't mean you have to hit those numbers. You just have to complete the tasks.
Yep.
You just got to say, what was my best? Yeah. Right. That's it. Just put your best foot forward. After you boom, you say, yeah, I completed it. We ship off your shirt. And then you get that thing and it's like a trophy, right? It's almost like the Spartan race, completed shirt, right? You only get it if you cross the finish line.
Yeah, it's just, it's basically that shirt really is, besides it being a super cool looking shirt, it also just symbolizes like, hey, I showed up this day. I'd committed to something I said I was going to do, and I did it, and I'm better for it.
Yes, alphadadchallenge.com, and then you get set up. You can see about the challenge a little bit more, and then that's where you can sign up for it.
I love it. Dean, I like to close out every episode having a guest answer. Dean, you're a dad, you're a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
If you had one fitness piece of advice you were going to give to a dad who's struggling to get started, what would it be?
Man, I would say, start in the house. Start in the house. Like, we all have times where, we might be on our phone. Everybody needs some time to kind of decompress, right? Whatever that means for you, whether that's video games, watching TV, talking with your wife on the couch. We all need some time to kind of chill. But also, like, if you're feeling lack of motivation, just start in the house. Drop down, start hitting some push-ups. You start doing some push-ups every single day. That's something that we can all do. We can all do 25 to 30 push-ups a day every single day. And just, start in the house. You don't have to go to the garage. You don't have to go down to the gym. If you just need something to get the wheels going, break a little sweat, catch a pump, just drop down, man, hit some push-ups, maybe do some air squats. Like it's just, I'll catch myself like, man, I don't really want to work out today. I'm tired, I got to, still do the kids' bath. I still got to, clean up in the kitchen, But you know what? Like while the kids are in the bath, I'm standing right there. I was just
going to say that.
I drop down, I'll hit some I'll do 100 push-ups while the kids are in the bath so I can keep an eye on them. And I'm still going to get something in. Now, am I going to be like the strongest guy in the world from that? Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? But like, I'm going to feel better than I did before I did those push-ups.
Yeah, just start. Right?
Yeah, just start. Yeah, just start. Just drop. And then, whether that's knees assisted or regular push-ups, whatever you need to do. Just, start in the house.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I'd say also get the kids involved. Like tell them what's going on. Tell them what's up. Say, hey guys, while you're in the bath, I'm going to do some push-ups real quick, because I want to get in good shape. I want to be healthy. And that's it. That's all I got to say. And they'll ask questions. Trust me. You know what I mean? They'll take it from there. Right. Right. It's just kind of get them involved. Let them know what's going on. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? And then my oldest is, she just got done with 4th grade. She's going to be going to 5th grade next year. So they have like real PE, like they actually have a PE teacher that, they get pulled out of class, do PE with. dude, she's all pumped up. Like during this year, she was all excited about her mile times.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even talk about it. Like really, she just came home. So that was cool. I ran the mile today. It's like, oh, how'd it go? Whatever. It's like, oh, like 8:55. I'm like, what? I'm 11 years old, man. It's pretty good.
Short strides.
Short strides. And then the next time they did it, she was like, oh, she beat her time by 5 seconds. She was juiced. She was so excited. And we'd never there wasn't this conversation like, hey, Maddie, we expect you to get the best mile times in class. Or it was nothing like that. But she just knows since she was born, my wife goes to the gym, takes her, and she goes in the childcare room, whatever. It's not like but still it's just part of what you do. You just go to the gym, you work out, you exercise, right? And I think involving those conversations and having be a part of it is a big part too. Because I'll tell you what, if you tell them I'm going to do push-ups every day, you're in the bath, and then they're in the bath and you're not doing push-ups, they're going to let you know.
Yes, yep. They will.
Yeah. Especially if you got little girls, they will remind you.
When I did this push-up challenge last year in October and just got a bunch of dads to join. It was a free challenge I did, and it was where you did 10 push-ups on day 1, 20 push-ups on day 2. And you wouldn't believe how many dads messaged me on like day 7 and like, dude, my kids are asking me when I'm doing my push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool when you involve them. And then when you put it out there and let other people know what you're doing, and then you're being held accountable, especially by your children, like there's nothing worse than letting your kids down, like, and just teaching them that, man, I think is incredible.
Yeah, they're probably going to crawl on your back, while you're trying to do it.
It's a whole.
Those are just called weighted push-ups.
Yeah, well, no, then you yell at them.
Yeah,
you blow up on them. You cause a scene. You do something you're going to regret later.
It's a focus kind of exercise as well. Because my daughter, she'll be pulling on my ears, trying to jab me in the eyes. She's a little younger, so she's kind of like, when I'm doing them, but I just got to, trying to stay focused.
Oh, yeah, the kids are messing with you. The dog's licking your face.
Yeah,
you got
it's a new type of challenge.
That's right, y'all. Join the Alpha Dad Challenge. It's going to be great. I think it's a cool way to get some camaraderie, to push yourself a little bit. Most importantly, go get a subscription to Caffeine and Kilos Coffee of the Month. I just joined like 2 months ago. Y'all, I legit get excited when it's coming because I'm sure I can see what's coming, but I don't. It's just a surprise to me when I get it in the mail.
Actually, there's not really any preview. We don't really.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, there's no preview. We just send it out.
Maybe we should do that.
I love that.
Yeah, we just no one knows about it until the month it comes out.
What's funny is I don't even know if Dean knows this, but I'm actually on a Coffee of the Month subscription under a pseudonym. So the guy that packs the orders doesn't know. Right. And it's kind of like, it's a way to do quality control. And so it shows up in my house, and then I open, okay, what's it like? Like, what's the packaging look like? Is the label clean? Is the tape, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, see what.
You get the full experience.
Get the full experience,
door to, or a warehouse to door experience.
Yep. And anyway, I'm not kidding you. I'm excited. Like I get the shipping notification. I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Like, I'm here at the warehouse. I can grab a bag and take it.
That's what I do. Yeah.
But like, anyway, just get the one bag a month.
I feel like I'm missing out.
The 1 bag a month gets shipped, And so anyway, but even though I only do it for quality control, I'm still like, when I get, it's delivered. I'm like, oh, nice. Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun getting to taste those coffees again. Cause sometimes we pick, some of them out, 9 months in advance. We do we'll go to our roaster. We'll pick out it's anywhere from 6 to 9 blends to kind of lay out the year or most of the year, half the year. And, getting to get those tastes again, it's fun. This next one actually coming out for June. It's really, really tasty.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we'll let your audience know first. It's going to be called Berries and Cream Blend, and it's very good. It's very delicious.
Guys, the branding is fun. Y'all do a great job on that. This month was like Captain Jacked.
Yeah, Captain Jacked. Yeah.
And I mean, come on. It's so good. It's great coffee, and it's just fun. So y'all are crushing it.
Yeah, that one had some spice notes in it, kind of from its natural origin. So it kind of reminded us maybe of almost like a
spiced rum,
like a spiced rum kind of vibe. We kind of, people often ask us, okay, like why do you guys put flavorings in your coffee? It's like, well, no. We just kind of play off of the natural tones of the coffee based off kind of where they were grown and where they're from, and then make a fun label out of it to kind of help people guide them into like what to kind of expect. Like that. Not everybody knows, like what to look for in coffee or even like wine and stuff, right? Kind of helping people guide their palate to like, oh, I get this one is kind of more fruity than this one, which is probably the more chocolatey or more nutty. Okay, I get that now. I get it.
And so like this upcoming month, June's a great example of that berries and cream, because we're doing the tasting, right? We go around, we try it, and we're like, man, this thing tastes like I kind of like blackberries, you know. I was like, I do kind of like a berry, almost like a berry pie or like a breakfast pastry kind of berry, you know, type thing. And then it was like berries and cream. It's like, yeah, that's totally. When you drink it, if you think about it, you can get these notes of like blackberry, boysenberry, like you can kind of taste that. But it's just natural. It's just the way the coffee is grown and roasted that brings out those flavor notes.
Yeah, our goal is to turn, gym rats into coffee connoisseurs.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. And I won't geek out for too long, y'all, but just anybody listening, if your coffee doesn't have like on the label, like notes of citrus or berries and stuff like that, you're probably drinking like Folgers or something. And it's time to step it up.
Time to level it up.
Y'all, thanks so much for joining the podcast today. This has been one of my favorites I've done.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well, hey, man, we've had a great time.
Hey, if you're looking for two dads and want to talk about lifting weights, you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about tarps off, mowing the lawn out front, this is where it's at, dude.
That's the lifestyle.
Let's go. Y'all, go follow Caffeine and Kilos. If you're not, join the Alpha Dad Challenge and get you a coffee subscription. Thanks for listening today.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
See ya.